Yo, what's up guys? Welcome back to another video on Corwin Talk Sports. Today, we're going to dive into a little college football. I'm going to give you my predictions of some of the top games this week. Week 6 already in the college football season. It's been a fun season so far. Let's get into these picks. If you guys enjoy, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. You guys know the deal. Let's get into it. Alright guys, here we go. We got the lineup for this week. We're just going off ESPN's College Pick'em. They got 10 games on here. So let's get through these 10 games. We're starting off with a good matchup here in the Big 12. We got Iowa State on the road at Cincinnati. Both proud programs so far this season. Iowa State undefeated up to this point. Actually underdogs in this game against Cincinnati. Brendan Sorensby has been really good for Cincinnati. Lost a really close one in Nebraska. But other than that, they've looked really good so far. Iowa State, on the other hand, Rocco Beck's been that guy. Their defensive line has been absolute dominant. Number 95, I can't think of his name. I'll plug it in the video. But he's been a monster for Iowa State. Not necessarily filling up the stat sheet, but wrecking havoc in the backfield and allowing his other guys to get to the ball. I think Iowa State will take care of business against Cincinnati. I expect a really good game, though, but give me the Cyclones over the Bearcats. Next, we got Kansas State and Baylor. Two other great programs here in the Big 12. Kansas State's had a rough start to the season, starting off, I think, 0-3. They played a couple tough games, lost to Iowa State out in Ireland. Avery Johnson's been a little shaky at quarterback, but he's a really good athlete. And then Baylor, on the other hand, had some solid wins, beat SMU, I think. Sawyer Robinson's a real deal at quarterback for the Bears. They have Baylor favored here. A lot of them are riding Baylor. I actually think Kansas State's going to get the win in this one. The Wildcats are too talented to keep struggling like this. Get them back to 500. I think Avery Johnson's going to have a big game against the Bears defense. So give me the Wildcats to beat the Bears. Up next, this might be my game of the week. We got number 16 Vanderbilt undefeated going to Bryant-Denny to play Alabama. Alabama's coming off a huge win against Georgia. Really played a clean game against Georgia. They were down at one point. They came back. Ty Simpson looked really solid throughout the game. They made some big-time plays on defense to shut down the Georgia offense. They got weapons all across the field. Ryan Williams, J.M. Miller, I can't remember. The Miller, the running back, he's been really good. But Vanderbilt's kind of that underdog team. Diego Pavia has been leading his troops, leading the Commodores, undefeated so far. Lost to Georgia State last year. They weren't letting that happen again. They blow the doors off Georgia State this year. This is going to be a really good game. As much as I want to pick Vanderbilt to win, I just don't think I can. I think Alabama's going to revenge their loss from last year. So give me the Crimson Tide to beat the Commodores. Up next, we got another really good game. We got Texas going on the road to play Florida. Texas, besides the Ohio State game, hasn't really played anyone too great. 3-1 up to this point. Arch Manning's looks shaky at best, if we're being honest. Texas got a lot of athletes across the field. They got a really good defense. And then Florida, on the other hand, DJ Lagway has been really struggling in that Florida offense. Billy Napier's on the hot seat. And they're at home. Texas, on paper, is the much better team. But I think the Florida Gators, in a big-time upset, in a must-win for Billy Napier and his job, I think Florida, in the swamp, takes care of Texas and pulls off the big-time upset. Wow. Next, we got Virginia going on the road to Louisville. Virginia coming off a big-time win against Florida State on their home field. Virginia looked really good. They controlled the game. They forced Florida State to make mistakes. They didn't necessarily play their best game, Virginia did. A lot of turnovers by their quarterback, but they found a way to win, and that's just what's important when it comes to conference play. You got to find ways to win. Louisville, on the other hand, undefeated, a really good team. They got some athletes. Isaac Brown, their running back, is an absolute stud. I like the story of Virginia, but I think Louisville is just too much power for them. So give me the Cardinals at home to take care of business against Commodores. We got our first Big Ten matchup here between Washington and Maryland. Both having really good seasons up to this point. Washington had a rough week last week against Ohio State. Had chances, had opportunities to win that game, take the lead in that game, but at the end of the day, they couldn't convert. Desmond Williams is a stud quarterback for him. Jonah Coleman is that guy at running back. They just, at the end of the day, weren't able to make the big plays that were needed, get the stops that were needed to beat Ohio State. And Maryland, on the other hand, starting off 4-0. Coach Lockley's got them boys fired up. Maryland looks like a really good squad this year. They got athletes across the field as well. A lot of people are saying Washington in this game, and I don't blame them for going that way. But something is different about this Maryland Terrapin team this year. So I'm going to take Maryland plus the 210 at home to beat the Huskies in a great Big Ten matchup. We're going out to the Mountain West for this next one. We got UNLV versus Wyoming. UNLV has had a great start to the season. A little shaky under Dan Mullen in their first 4 games. They got themselves a good quarterback in Colin Andra, however you say it. They got weapons across the field. Shout out my guy, Alex Orgy. Unfortunately, he got hurt for the Running Rebels. But I like UNLV to take care of business against a Wyoming team that hasn't looked too great so far. Talented squad there up in Wyoming. But give me the Running Rebels over the Cowboys. We got another big-time ACC game here. Miami going on the road to take on Florida State. Florida State coming off that tough loss to Virginia. They made it a game. They sent it to overtime on an unbelievable play by Castellanos. I think Florida State is still a great team. They've beaten solid opponents. They beat Bama and lost a close one to a good Virginia team. Miami, on the other hand, has looked absolutely dominant up to this point, taking care of Notre Dame pretty handily. Carson Beck looks really good. That offense is looking good. Ruben Bain on the defensive side of the ball is just absolutely causing havoc up front. 2 really good teams here. A primetime ACC showdown. I don't know who to go with here. I'm really torn. I really like Florida State in the bounce-back position to take care of Miami at home. But I think Miami's the real deal this year. They got a really good squad. So I'm going to take the Hurricanes on the road to beat Florida State. We're down to our last 2 here. We got Kansas and UCF, another good Big 12 matchup. Kansas, Jelon Daniels is a great playmaker for the Jayhawks. They're off to a decent start, going 3-2 up to this point. And then UCF's got some really good guys in their program too. I don't know too much about UCF. This is going to be a really good game. I think I'm going to take Kansas. I'm going to take the Jayhawks to beat UCF in Florida. And here we go. We have our last game on the pick'em schedule. We got Duke going on the road in an ACC match against California. That still blows my mind how that's even possible. It's the same thing with Washington and Maryland. But regardless, 2 really good programs so far. California's got a great freshman quarterback. I'm not even going to try to pronounce his name. But he's been doing really well for the Golden Bears. They beat a good team in Minnesota. They've looked pretty good so far, but I think Duke overall is a little bit better of the team. Darian Messiah, their quarterback, the transfer from Tulane, is an absolute stud for Duke. I think Duke's going to take care of business and beat California on the road. All right, guys, those are my picks for this week of college football. A lot of good games going on this week, especially in the ACC. Got a couple big-time upsets there. Got the favorites winning in some. I hope you guys enjoy this one. Make sure to comment down below what you guys want to see next and if I should continue doing this with college football and NFL. I plan on doing the MLB recap of the first round of the playoffs here in the upcoming days. So make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, and I hope you guys enjoy this video. We'll see you in the next one. Peace!